All right,
And
so
we're
we're
back.
back,
What were
right?
you saying about Reunited?
It's bad
No,
in
it's
Russia.
great. I love Reunited. Hey,
Mm.
I'm gonna play a different game this time. Play a different Mickey Mouse game. Anyway, well, you were in the middle of saying something about why this episode wasn't good and how it ruined the whole arc.
I mean, it didn't ruin the arc. It's just I think it was supposed to be the. It was supposed to resolve a bunch of different arcs. It just wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like, I feel very unsatisfied by it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of all I can say is
But
just
then,
like
I guess if you treat it as a standalone thing, I can see why you'd be a bit.
it's no. I see. I just don't know. I don't feel the buildup. I don't feel the buildup of like,
I mean,
oh, the diamonds are coming. Like I didn't feel that. Like you're supposed to get that from Wanted and the trial and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
And
think
even getting off Homeworld.
it's the awful release schedule that did that.
The
Probably.
real that
I'm
might be
just,
part of it,
yeah.
but at the same time, there's that whole arc where Steven wasn't talking to Connie for a couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, were the diamonds on their way for a couple of weeks, or did they just realize that Steven was off planet or
Yeah,
something
it
like
probably
that?
took a while.
I
to
feel
notice.
like if there was a thing in an earlier episode where it like foreshadowed the diamonds leaving, even if the characters here on Earth
Yeah,
didn't
if
see
they
it.
had like a slight dream sequence of like Steven and like he's crying and he sees from his own eyes like Yellow Diamond and or something like that, or like them deciding, oh, we're heading to Earth, this is it, you know.
But I think it
Something
actually makes
just a
it kind
little
of better that you didn't really see it coming. Like it makes it more scary, you know, that they're crashing such an important event.
I think something slight, you know, it's just something foreboding. It didn't have to be like that direct, but you know, it didn't.
Oh, you
it
got
didn't-
some cute K-On girls there on your desktop, by the way.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't feel
They're
it
great.
didn't feel connected, and that's kind of what upset me. Neither did the stuff with Lapis, because Lapis didn't feel redeemed like she would turn around, but that sudden change right then and there
Oh,
was just
what I
weird.
was in
She's
the,
just
what I was in the middle of saying was that shot where Lapis showed up was so friggin' dope. Oh my god.
yeah, it was. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. It was cool, right? But at the same time, I don't like Lapis. I don't think she deserves scenes like that because her character doesn't. It doesn't reflect on her. It doesn't reflect her character.
She had some time in space. She had some time to think about her values, and she decided, yeah, I would rather be with them.
It just happened to be a very convenient moment where it happened, but you know, not unbuyable.
But, you know, Can't Go Back happened quite a while ago. Like, of course she can think about it. Right?
And it's just weird.
Yeah, no, I buy it. It is very convenient, but
There was no reason to send her to the moon then. Like, I don't.
Well, in the first place.
In the first place. Like, I don't. If she was going to come and help, she could have brought the barn and dropped it on him either way. Like, that wasn't necessary. Like, I don't know why they sent her to the moon. Like, it doesn't. I don't see the connection.
Right.
But yeah, that and like, I don't know. I feel like if this whole thing with the diamond showing up was just like an hour long, like 2 half-an-hour things, it would have been fine. They could have done all the same stuff, but just
stretched it out
a bit better, and I would have been okay with it. You know, enough time to give to let it roost. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess, but I don't know. I was pretty happy with how the episode. I don't know what specifically did you think was underdeveloped?
Just the way, because this is the climax, right?
Yeah.
We're not. There's gonna be no more conflict. The conflict is basically over between, it's not over, but it's we've already that was a climax this was our climax, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't enough for me. I think, especially. I think Blue and Yellow Diamond got enough of the spotlight. I think that was cool, but another thing that bothered me was the cluster coming out of nowhere. Like, they hadn't touched the cluster since season 3 or talked about it.
For a long time.
The cluster just shows up. Like, like you can do gymnastics, right? Okay, well, naturally the cluster is gonna have animosity for the diamonds, and they're gonna fight.
I think it's gonna have animosity
the
for them mostly because it's smacking against them and thumping them, and it just wants to make that stop. right?
Yeah,
Because like the
I'm
way
just
they've
like,
described the cluster in the past is something that's sort of like terminally in pain because it's just
yeah,
it's blistered gem shards. You know, it
yeah,
wants to be in the stasis of the bubble, and it just got woken up by the diamonds in this aggressive way, and it formed as little as it needed to destroy them.
yeah. I just I
That was
didn't buy
also
any
the
of it.
way
Like,
the way the
I
cluster
didn't
was
buy the.
animated with like the sinews and the muscle. That was so cool.
I think that was also neat, but at the same time, there's no. I don't feel any payoff because that was 2 seasons ago that they even dealt with the cluster. That was like the season 2 finale or something like that. Like that was
Yeah,
season
the
3
season 3
open.
premiere.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? We're going all the way back to
Well,
that.
yeah, we don't lose those things. The cluster was still there.
Yeah, but at the same time, they didn't do anything to, like. There's so many times they could have used the episodes they had in between this and building up to the climax way better. Then, if they were gonna have the cluster show up and fight for Steven at this point, like I was figuring, like the cluster wasn't gonna show up to the finale, but this is like really weird for the cluster to be here for this. I mean, the cluster might show up again. It's still around. It's not
doesn't
like,
it make sense?
It's not like it's poofed or anything
the
like
diamonds
that. But
would
it's just
do that. Like they'd be so confused as to why the cluster hasn't emerged, and then they go and try and wake it up manually. Like, wouldn't that be
no?
the
But
plan?
the whole reason that they're there is to chase down Steven, to investigate the Earth.
Yeah.
Like, but there's no evidence. Like, you just have to like figure that out on your own because like there's no like the show doesn't tell you. You just kind of like, okay, it kind of maybe they could go and figure it out since they've already sent Parrot out. They sent Aquamarine.
Yeah. Also, we know that they knew that the gems were at that temple, so the reasonable course of action is to go interrogate the crystal gems, right? Like, I'm amazed.
They were not there to interrogate the crystal gems. They were there to make them suffer and stuff like that. But I just, it just.
Man, every one of those
mentally,
Blue Diamond scenes was so dope to me.
Yeah, they were cool. I'm not saying it wasn't cool, but it just like they needed there was way more they could have developed before this. You know what I mean? Like I just have problems with how like the cluster just shows up out of nowhere. We haven't heard or seen from it in such a long time. Like that bothered me. The same thing with Lapis too. Like it just really stuck with me. And like, how are they gonna fight? Like how they fought the diamonds was weird. Like the diamonds don't have any guards now. They don't have any. Nobody rolls with them anymore.
Clearly they don't need them. Blue Diamond tanked every crystal gem at once and seemingly took no damage. And she's not even a fighter.
I just don't think like it.
What I got from that scene was that Blue Diamond hasn't thrown a punch in her entire life. Or at least not in a few thousand years.
Yeah, but I think, I guess they were there for very personal reasons. It wasn't like official, like they weren't trying to flex.
Yeah, there was not an army with. I'm sure their pearls are with them. I'd love to see that, but.
Yeah, I mean their ships are gone and all that. I'm pretty sure the pearls aren't there either because they weren't in the. They might be, but I doubt it because that would be. That I don't want to say anything mean, but it might be too much for them. Too much for them to handle.
Simple pearls.
To write, yeah. I'm just so.
How are you feeling, Hoven?
Something about it is just disappointing.
Sorry, I just got distracted because they announced the new Dragon Ball Super movie is going to have Broly in it, which is like maximum lame.
Oh.
Sorry, completely irrelevant to this.
You've got that dumb franchise. Steven Universe is the wave now.
Yeah, Universe is the wave.
Yeah, how are you feeling about Reunited then, in general, Hoven?
I mean, and then I'm not even getting into the.
It functioned great. I think it functioned well as a climax. It's not like. I think it's fine to just have an episode of pure spectacle, and it definitely leaves things in an interesting
Yeah, you know what?
place.
That's ultimately how I feel about it. Because so many people are excited. This is what they wanted because they Cartoon Network advertised the Steven Universe incorrectly as an action adventure show for young boys, and this is exactly what young boys and people who are into like shonen anime and stuff like that are into.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you this: Steven Universe didn't really have much of an audience during its first season. You know, all those guys showed up after Jailbreak, and they want a action fantasy show. So everything else is filler to them. So Yeah, it's kind of a mess. I mean, it's a mess to have a show that has such a fragmented viewer base, where a lot of the viewers dislike the bulk of the show's content and want it to be something it isn't. Like, it's hard. Yeah. They kind of wrote themselves into a corner there. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Rebecca Sugar trying to make a show that hasn't been made before. Like, she's trying to make a show
in the way it's made hasn't been.
Yeah, no one's written a show like Avatar: The Last Airbender with like episode length and storyboard driven like SpongeBob. You know.
Yeah.
I guess you could chalk it up to incompetence in a lot of ways, but it's also just because she's kind of tapping into undone ground. You know, no one's made a show like Steven Universe before.
Yeah. It's interesting, but at the same time, I get it. Like, I think it's just weird because, like, I always appreciate Steven Universe for not being that. Like, I appreciate it for tackling these issues. Tackling these issues that you used to get from anime and stuff like that I can't get anymore. Like, these social political issues. The anime just doesn't give a shit about doing anymore. They just want to fucking get little kids hard and shit.
The volleyball. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a new volleyball anime. It's great.
Yeah,
with girls in it.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah, they don't look good. They're not even.
I didn't make it through the first episode anyway. Yeah. So I don't know. I still think this episode has the things that you like about Steven Universe in it. You know?
You know what? I love Garnet scene when Garnet was walking up.
That was fantastic.
That was such a good scene.
When the little raindrops fall on Blue Diamond. Like, it is. Oh my god! Like, if I knew Steven Universe was capable of this kind of directing, I would have been a lot harder on it in the earlier episodes. For being so flat.
I don't.
That was so friggin' good. Like, you see, you see like a silhouette almost of Lapis by the moon. Oh my god! Like, the show gets tension, so I understand why the action fans are frustrated with it, because like it can do some pretty crazy stuff.
But I don't know. At the same time, like, I really just, I feel, and then the climax of the episode itself, where Steven just kind of like
the show gets emotional again, where they resolve the fighting.
He busts out his dream abilities, and I'm just like,
which are clearly Diamond related, because he could communicate with the Diamonds in a bit more depth than he could with the others.
Yeah,
like, and Blue Diamond again says that she recognizes it. So that was a Pink's thing, clearly.
That's so. I mean, I guess because the Diamonds don't sleep, and so they probably don't sleep, and Steven sleeps, and that's kind of like the difference. Like, the Diamonds don't have to sleep, so they don't really need to use that ability. Like right now, thinking about it, I can think of all these ways to justify it. But watching it, I felt so icky. Like, watching like Lapis do the cliche thing, and then the cluster just show up, and I'm just like,
I'm sure a lot of people guessed that Lapis was coming. Personally, I
completely forgot about the cluster thing. That was awesome.
Yeah, the cluster,
the giant hand coming out of the ground.
I love something about the way it was drawn. Steven Universe doesn't really dip its toe into that kind of body horror stuff.
I like the way it was drawn, but at the same time, I just, I still have my issues with it. I still think there should have been more to it. There should have been, if they're gonna do all that stuff, then give me some more. Don't give me like a friggin' sentence from Steven saying, "Oh, the cluster's on our side now. Awesome. Let's do it."
A lot of people watching would have forgotten, or they just never saw that far. Like, you have to, you can't be so unaccommodating to your audience.
No, I'm just saying, like, they could have done more with it. Like, it. How can I put this? They should have. How do I put? Between the wedding and the Diamond showing up, there should have been some prep time. And
what do you mean?
That's like when Peridot and Jasper showed up. Remember, they had time to evacuate the city and launch cannons and stuff like that, but they didn't even detect the blue and yellow ship. Like, as soon as Steven started crying, that should have been like, okay, they're maybe like a couple hours away or something like that. That way they can get all their stuff together. You know what I mean?
But that happened incredibly fast.
It happened super fast, and I think if they would have spaced that time out and gave prep time for when the Diamonds showed up, and a little bit more build up time for that, so they can be like, oh hey, let's see how the cluster's doing, and then like give it a little bit more time to cook. And then also you get a little bit of Lapis, you get a little bit of Lars, all that stuff.
Nah,
you know,
I think with Lars, people have been asking about that, and I think you'd be stretching yourself a bit too thin.
I know. I mean, but you could like just give it a bit more build up time because I think they spent too much time. They spent too much time fighting. I think
if this wasn't, like you say, this wasn't the last episode of the season, they could have just had another episode entirely where the wedding happened, which was 10 minutes long, and then at the end of that episode, we find out that the diamonds are coming. Then we could have. Then this could have been a 20-minute episode. Spent some time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that could have been done.
That would have worked.
I'm still not even convinced that this episode isn't the end of the season. Like,
of course, I mean, man, the rest of the season is not going to be. The rest of the season is not going to be action. It's going to be a bunch of reveals. Where Centipedal's coming back. All like there's just going to be more gem stuff. It's going to be gem lore, which I'm okay with. Is the more they wash over just this silly fight of this silly emotional fight of Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond show up, the better. Because I just couldn't deal with any. I couldn't deal with it. Like,
and when Yellow comes out of the ship, oh my god, that was so great.
And Yellow, I think everything Blue, about it
was a lot of talk and a lot of gesturing.
I think see in between that. I think I've nailed it down because I wanted to go back and just blame. Oh man, Steven should have never went to Homeworld. Blah blah blah. They messed up with Aquamarine and Topaz because they just weren't getting it right. But I think my problem with this episode is that the build up to the diamonds and them being there was just way too fast. I think Steven should start crying and it's like, how much time do we have, Steven? 1-2 hours maybe, I don't know. And then that's when they just start preparing. They get all the cannons out and stuff like that, just like for when Jasper and Peridot showed up the first time for Jailbreak.
Didn't do jack.
Yeah, but it's you know what I mean. Like they could have done some stuff. Like remember when Jasper and Peridot came? They had Opal out. They were shooting arrows. They were trying everything they had before they came, and it was just like, okay, like. I think there should have been more of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some more strategy,
more prep, more not just like straight to a brawl. You know what I mean? Like I would have felt way better about that.
Some
like,
people
you know what I mean?
Annoyed that Connie's parents didn't take her home and they left her with the diamonds. I completely disagree.
I mean, they've already resolved that already.
Yeah,
they've already had that episode.
Yeah,
where
I say if you're gonna call yourself a crystal gem, you need to be willing to scrap with the diamonds. Otherwise, you can't call yourself that no more.
I am disappointed they didn't fuse into Savani for the fight. That would have been dope. I think that would have been...
Again, it's because Steven didn't intend on fighting, did he?
Oh, that's true.
But
that would have been dope, though.
Well, how cool would that have been? How did you feel about that, by the way? Like, I never even entertained the idea of telling the diamonds that he was Pink Diamond. Like, I thought...
Well, I mean, he does know that the whole reason that Blue Diamond is doing this is because she's grieving over Pink Diamond.
It's
she's
just such a strange thing to have to say. Like, I don't know. I didn't know if that would be a good thing to get out of them or what. Like, would they... Would that make them happy?
I understand what you're getting at, and I think... Still would have been cool to see Stevani in like a tuxedo / dress.
Like, would they enjoy hearing
that? Would have been so cool.
What, seeing Stevani in a suit?
In something similar to what Garnet had. That would have been neat.
I guess
that would have been cool. Exactly. I mean, I guess I get what you're right because Steven wasn't interested in fighting, but at the same time, like they broke a lot of stuff. They destroyed.
I don't know. I feel like the tuxedo dress thing was cool once.
Destroying Rose's sword was definitely symbolism.
Yeah.
It's just wrapping the arc up.
She wanted it destroyed too.
Yeah. And then Bismuth can make her a cool new one.
Like that was the final. That was definitely Rose's final stand. Because even earlier in the episode, Amethyst like maybe I shouldn't have picked out Roses. Like they resent Rose.
Now,
they're disavowing Rose.
It'll be so interesting to see like where they go next because. That was kind of the biggest dangling plot thread was the two diamonds when they were going to invade, and now it seems like they're about to actually explain anything.
Let's get to that. Hold on. Let's not because that's kind of the biggest thing we need to talk about. Because something very strange happens at the end of this episode. The diamonds seem to chill out, and then they show a promo of Steven kind of just like casually talking with the diamonds. I'm like, wait,
okay, so
hold the
now I can
hell
talk
up.
about
What's going
now I
on
can talk
here?
about the spoilers they show. The spoilers they show specifically in the podcast is Blue Diamond putting Steven down on his house, and everybody's there, like Bismuth, everybody's there, but Peridot and Lapis,
right?
And that's kind of like the whole like, oh shit, like shit's gonna go down. Bismuth is coming back. All that in one image ruined a lot of shit for me. I was like, oh shit.
Well, that ruined the whole arc, kind of, because you knew about the wedding, you knew about. That's a real shame. That's like Cartoon Network has to be held accountable for that.
Yeah, and it was just like, ah, damn. Like this was like right before Pale Rose, and so when you see Pale Rose, you're just like, oh fuck, I know exactly how this happens. Like it, like at first I was just like, oh, maybe it's a dream sequence, and they just kind of fucked up. Like it's just him dreaming because the diamonds look so weird and out of place.
Right.
But it's like as soon as you see a single Pale Rose, oh fuck. Cartoon Network shit the bed, and they literally shit the bed when they showed that image.
I don't know what their excuse was for that, but that is the stupidest oversight I've ever heard of. Like, how can you not only rape your show on its schedule, but then also just casually spoil it on a YouTube video that nobody cares about? Like, what are you thinking?
Dude,
what's going on?
My problem is that like it was just like that image was such a big thing. Like Ruby, they also showed Ruby as a cowboy and Amethyst as a horse. You can't really get much from that. It's like, okay, we're gonna get a Ruby episode, maybe that's cool. And then they show just Blue Diamond putting down Steven, carrying and shit. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? This has to be a dream sequence. It has to be like another Jungle Moon type shit. And then single pair of Rose, you're just like, oh fuck me, Jesus, oh no, oh fuck, they're gonna redeem these motherfuckers. Not redeem them, but they're gonna get along with it. No, and so that's what I'm saying. They showed stuff from episodes that haven't aired. The very next episode is literally gonna be, oh, sorry about that, Pink, blah, blah, what happened? They show a little bit of that in the promo, and it's just like, oh shit. So that's what I mean by the episodes haven't aired yet. That's what they showed.
Oh, okay.
It's like that's the only shot they show, and it's just like it was enough to just ruin everything for you, almost everything. Because I didn't know Lapis and Peridot. Like I was like, oh, where's Lapis and Peridot? Maybe they just forgot about them, but they did get which was weird. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, next up is like they gotta talk about White Diamond and the Snake People. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't forget about
the Snake People. What are you talking about?
The Sneeple.
Oh right, this dumb joke that all the Steven Universe fans have of
Ronaldo predicting everything.
Yeah.
The Diamond Authority. He said he names them before anybody else.
So freaking stupid.
He's right though. I mean, if the there's actually no antagonist in the show.
Yeah, except maybe we. Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. This specifically is a very pivotal thing to address. Like, if the diamonds have been, they aren't redeemed or anything like that, but they've been diffused.
There's gonna be the
threat of the diamonds has been diffused.
I think Yellow's just like, oh, Pink's alive. Well, fuck you, Pink, you stupid bitch. Like she's just gonna be mad. She's not gonna. That's not gonna change their character. Blue's gonna be like, no, Pink's alive. I'm gonna give her kisses.
Man,
big giant.
We didn't talk about Yellow's fight. How when Yellow comes out the ship, there isn't a single word from her, and she just boots the thing open, stares them down, and is ready to just murder them. That was another really well done scene where we just see Yellow's face. They let Peridot run up to her for some stupid reason.
Well, you can't really control what Peridot does.
Yeah, that I think that also needed to happen, because if Peridot got out of this fight unscathed, it would have made the diamonds seem a bit like pushovers.
Yeah, and they also got Lapis.
Yeah,
and they didn't get Bismuth for some reason.
Yeah, so it kind of opens up a whole bunch of questions, like how much of the diamond's going to be open to the Crystal Gems activities? Like, oh man, like because ultimately, no matter what, Steven can't change the diamonds. They're still the diamonds. They're still going to go around terraforming planets.
Sure,
but he has to kind of reason with them to some extent, because as far as they're concerned, he's Pink Diamond, right?
Mm-hmm. They're gonna just call him Pink. It's gonna be like Kakarot and Vegeta
Yeah,
and Kakarot.
yeah.
Like, come on, Pink. My name's not Pink. I'm Steven.
How do you feel about that, Hoven? The idea that the diamonds aren't the threat of the show. And that what my main question was.
They're not the threat.
I mean, okay,
Rebecca Sugar said that a while ago that they don't have any antagonists.
Yeah, but still, they have been bigged up since the beginning as the show's primary threat. Are
blue and yellow confirmed to be the only other diamonds?
No, there's also white.
They've shown white.
She's come into the picture all of a sudden because now if they're not the overarching threat, then white has to be. Right, that's the conclusion a lot of people.
It's not a threat; it's a misunderstanding. And maybe, how about this? Here's what I'm going with. Blue's gonna be okay with it. Yellow's gonna be like, this is shit. Fuck. All right, we're taking you back to Homeworld, and we're gonna fix you. And Blue's like, yeah, probably yeah. And Steven's just like, no. And then of course, White's gonna be like, no, Destroyer, Shatterer. That's gonna be like the whole.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know anything about White. So
yeah, but I just assume White is right. You know what I mean? As in right wing.
All right.
Conservative.
Yeah. So that's a safe thing to think because people have made the comment that she's at the top of the hierarchy and therefore the one that matters. Right? She has the most planets. She has the most authority. Like, is that correct, or is that just a theory?
What do you say that again?
Like she's the diamond on top, right?
Yeah, White is the one on top. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's in charge basically, and they're blue and yellow are beneath her.
It's just man, I don't know.
It wouldn't really make any.
It's good to talk about it because I feel a little bit better, but even when I go back to I tried to rewatch Reunited, and I just couldn't. Like, there's only certain scenes I could watch.
I'm just gonna bring up, I think if White wasn't somehow much stronger or more powerful in some way than Blue and Yellow, it would be a little odd just to have it so that, okay, we have two of the diamonds on our side, so what's the tension here? In whether White could be a threat.
She's probably like huge, like super huge.
Well, we've seen her physically, haven't we?
Maybe.
Yeah, what's it called?
On Homeworld.
In Your Mother and Mine, we saw her physically. She was next to the other diamonds, and she was, we saw her hand. It was the same size. She's comparably, the same creature at least. She's not like a god.
Maybe, yeah.
I guess it's a case that she's like an exceptional version of that kind of creature.
Yeah. Also, another cool scene that we didn't really address from Maid of Honor is how Bismuth kind of dubs Steven the leader of the Crystal Gems. How did you feel about that, Elijah? Because that was actually that was the most interesting thing about the episode to me. How she says that he's the one keeping them going. He's basically the leader at this point. Because I'd never even considered that. But then, as you watch season 5, you realize that Steven's basically made every decision on his own. Most of his adventures have been without the gems. He's been going to the Jungle Moon. He's been with Laws. Like, all that stuff's happened without them. So it's pretty crazy to think that he might be the one leading them at this point. Like, at least in spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm still ragging on this.
Yeah, I'm trying to open you up to the idea that these episodes were great.
I'm still bummed though. It's just.
Well, what do you specifically
I need more turn to roost because like usually if I really like Steve Universe, I'll go back and watch it over and over again. Like right. I'll be on it.
That's what I've been doing all week basically. I've been doing nothing to Steve Universe.
I literally can only do that for I love the Amethyst episode, and I only watched that once, but the only episode I watched over and over again was that very first one where Pearl is explaining everything to Sapphire and Steven. And that's got to be our favorite. I actually did watch the Question quite a few times as well. Actually, I like the Question, but it's just a cute episode, but it's not like I watched the proposal scene a lot just because that scene's really great.
Yeah, the show's been getting a ton of press because of the whole.
But I can't watch Reunited. Reunited's so hard for me to watch, and there's just so many little things that bother me about it. I just it feels cringy to watch that episode almost. You know what I mean?
This is the most negative I've ever heard you be about this show.
I don't see it as being that much of an outlier for what this show does.
I don't know. For me, it felt cringy. It felt like it. It felt a bit too. How do I say? I guess here's my problem. No, not fan servicey. I don't have a problem with fan service at all. And I just I don't know. It felt very like it was a bit. God, can I say hammy? Because the whole show, there's a lot of ham in the show, but that episode was really hammy. Like it was very ham boy, like maximum ham.
Well, you know, maybe. I've only watched the episode twice, and I loved it both times. But maybe that was the shock of it, you know.
Because like watching it, I'm just like, oh man, it's like a musical. Because my first reaction is like, oh, it's gonna be a musical episode. That's gonna be cool. And maybe somebody had a question. How do blue and yellow not?
Oh yeah, what's going on with the chat? Is anybody of all the people back?
Did to all the gems on Earth?
Oh, well, they haven't come back since then.
Ooh, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know that. Like, maybe they don't know. Maybe they just kind of like think. How do I say? They just think, oh, it's an obliterating blast, and since they don't hear from any of those gems again,
yeah, because the Earth died for millennia after that. So like, oh yeah, we're done with the gems, and they're basically right. Because all the gems, the only live gems that survive.
They just get devolved basically.
Yeah, so Amethyst was the only gem, I guess, that was still incubating at the time and hadn't even come out of the ground.
Yeah.
And then there's Lapis, who was in a mirror. So they were basically right. They did obliterate all the gems. Like what's left of them isn't
so
they
just don't understand that. They probably never went back to a place that they friggin' zapped. You know what I mean?
No, they didn't. We know they didn't. They put the cluster in there and they bounced. They got the order.
Thinking it wouldn't be around anymore. Exactly. So it's just like they probably don't know the extent of what they did. So
they also ordered every gem off the planet right before the blast happened, as we found out in the Monster Bloody Centipedal episode.
Yeah.
That can't have been a good thing for them to do. Like they couldn't have been happy about that decision. Like.
So now they're going to see
a literal scorched earth policy.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like I don't know what they're going to do about the diamonds because the diamonds are just like they shatter people.
Yeah, they on Steven Universe, even though it is kind of morally, relativistic, it's not going to be able to completely humanize the diamonds.
That's so weird because they're just like they sent all those shattered gems for the freaking thing. How are they going to? There's no way. I don't know. They did kind of write themselves into a corner with this because it's just like. Okay, what are you gonna do now, you freaking idiots? Like, are you gonna keep fighting these yellow and blue? Like, there is an argument there because they're cruel to the friggin' they're cruel. Their whole hierarchy is bad and pointless and shitty.
Well, it isn't bad and pointless because it gets stuff done. Let's be real.
It gets the job done, but
that system gets stuff done.
To the
White Diamond will tell you that's the appeal.
Gems are directly opposed to that. So how do they coexist?
They call him. How does that? It's another case where Steven is the only thing reconciling them, because otherwise they have no reason to sympathize with Paul and Bismuth. But Steven, they have some reason to care about what he thinks.
That's still kind of fucked up though. Like you think about it, like it's gonna be weird, dude. Like
it is.
It's gonna be fucking awkward.
But I don't consider that a flaw on part of the writing. I consider that like a huge achievement that we get to do that. Like I'm excited as hell to see what they're gonna do.
I just think it's gonna be very strange because it's like these are Garnet's not gonna be cool with it. None of them are gonna be cool with it. You know what I mean? Not a single one of them are gonna be cool. Except for maybe Amethyst. No, not Peridot either because she doesn't like Yellow Diamond because Yellow Diamond doesn't see the thing in the Earth. And see the value.
But even then, like they only hate Earth because of what happened, and now we know that
doesn't matter. I mean, just in general, like their policy on like off colors and stuff like that, and like
it's a real mess.
and also the cluster too. The cluster is a gem experiment of just a bunch of shattered gems thrown together. They're just supposed to ignore what they've done to like all those beings, like all those other gems and stuff like that.
From, no one's made any claims that we're suddenly friends with the diamonds. We're just capable. Yeah,
it's a very icky mess, and I don't think Pink, just Steven being Pink, is enough to resolve it. You know what I mean? Like that'd be. It's very hairy.
Yeah, but also it's a capable show when it comes to dealing with something like that. So
yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, because that just means more drama, hopefully, and less hammy power friendship, Infinity War battles. Yeah, my friends are here. We can beat these two fucking celestial god beings.
I'm a sucker for that shit.
It's awful, man.
Yeah, when Lapis saved Peridot, my favorite line in the episode is when Peridot runs over to Lapis. He's like, Lapis? Lapis is like, hey. Like, that is exactly what she would say.
Awful.
Like, she did.
Lapis isn't even cool, though, man.
Lapis is as cool as they come. That's what I'm saying. And then when she goes, what was that other line? Where Blue tries to use her powers on her. I felt worse. Ooh, killed it.
I'm too emo.
I want that on a shirt.
Sorry, Sensei, I'm gonna have to go all out.
That's the upside of emoism. Now you're so cool, you're so emo that nothing can hurt you except the things you've already been hurt by.
Yeah,
oh, she's so great. Good old Lapis.
And then how about the whole fucking thing? And like they don't even address the fact that like it happened too fast, right? Because like the Lapis shows up, but Bismuth is the one who poofed her, according to her flashback.
Hold up. Bismuth poofed her under false pretenses, right?
Not under false pretenses.
Yeah, because they thought she was one of them. Whoever poofed her, then put her in a mirror because they thought she was a crystal gem, which she was not.
She got poofed and then got mistaken for.
Oh right, yeah. I guess it's most likely it happened in that order.
And so I'm just saying, like, there's too much, man. I'm telling you, there's too. It's too condensed. Like for those 5 episodes, it could have been done better. Like there's something else had to have gone. This like instead of what we got. You know what I mean? Like there should have been. It's too much to decompress, I think, and like. And it just ends up being. It feels like a rushed comic, like a comic that's about to end. And he just has to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's just the feeling I get from it, and it's just hard for me to watch because it doesn't feel right. Like even for like I like finale fights. I don't mind all that stuff, but it just wasn't. It wasn't built up right. Like you go back and watch Jailbreak or Arrival or whatever like that. Feel the buildup of the people
but Jailbreak
like that. And
Jailbreak is a particularly fantastic episode.
Like I'm just saying, like they tried to do all that same stuff, and not to mention that, like, did you see the parallels I posted between like Greg and Pearl and Yellow?
I posted that first, Elijah. I put that on Twitter, and then you took that. I noticed it myself. Yes, Greg is Yellow Diamond, and Paul is Blue Diamond, and Steven was Pink. I noticed that first. I can't believe it even took people this long to notice such a thing.
No, they kind of repeat the same.
Yeah, that wasn't repeating. That was intentional. That was intentional foreshadowing.
Yeah,
that's clever as hell. Like
I do think that's neat, but at the same time, I'm just like, so Steven's bringing them together and creating this understanding, and I wonder if his powers were in effect during Mr. Greg. Do you think? I mean, he was.
No, I think that was just Steven being his usual self.
His regular magic, regular Steven magic, not Pink magic, right?
I also appreciate that his astral projection wasn't just a random brand new power. Like it was something we understand, we've seen before. Like,
okay.
We've seen him do. We've seen him do this a number of times. It hasn't been like an out of body thing in the same way, but it's it's the same thing. Basically.
He was knocked unconscious, and it was just like, oh shit, this guy's dead.
Yeah, because Yellow Diamond friggin' just went straight in. Like she tried to kill him. There was no conversation at all. Like that's what I love. Like this show just gets tension. Yellow really feels like a dangerous threat, whereas Blue was talking, about her feelings.
I mean, overall, I get it.
Yeah,
you know.
Here's my question for you, Elijah. Did you have a problem with the actual content, like where the show's going, or was it just that you thought it was executed weirdly?
I just think. Wait, ask your question again. I'm sorry.
Did you have a problem with the content itself, or just the execution? Like, did you dislike the direction the show went in, or is it just that you think they should have done it better with more time?
I think they
those are two very different
with
problems.
more time, but I don't think I have a super problem with the Diamonds, with where the show's at right now. I just have a problem with like how they dealt with it. You know, I have a problem with the cluster. I have a problem with the way they did Lapis. I think they had plenty of episodes to give her that, you know, give her a hint of that, and I just didn't feel it when I was watching her episodes. I think every time they kind of like every time she was leaning towards that, they just got nope, and now it's just like, okay, now I guess so.
Well, this is the time. If you're going to redeem a character, this is the time to do it.
It's unredeemable, not unredeemable, just like it just seems very difficult.
Yeah.
It's a hard. Lapis is a hard sell for me because she's so fucking awful, and so are the Diamonds.
I can see where you're coming from. I think it's just a case of I just allow a lot for this kind of episode. It appeals to me a lot.
Yeah, it appeals to me on a deep primal level. Yeah. I love just everything about what they were trying to do. I appreciate how they were trying to please fans. They were trying to do.
There's some people that want this, but I don't want this.
And I'm also just glad the show still knows how to surprise me. Like, when you've been watching the show for 5 years, you basically know all of its tropes.
How was any of that a surprise, though?
Lapis was a surprise. Steven talking to the Diamonds was a surprise.
Lapis was actually kind of a surprise. I was like,
Steven telling the Diamonds that he was pink was a massive surprise. Like, I had no idea he intended to do that. Like,
he wanted to talk.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
But most specifically, like, the fact that they neutralized the Diamonds as a threat is the biggest surprise. Like,
I don't think they're neutralized yet. I think there's still more to it. There has to be, because there's just too much to... There's too much fucking...
Yeah, they can have the disagreements. They can have all sorts of disagreements, but they don't fight.
Here's the analogy I want to get. It's like you go to a buffet and they stack up everything, and like they're not done with the plate yet, and they're just like, no, we're leaving, but you left so much on the plate. What the fuck?
Right.
Let's finish the rest.
Well, the season ain't over. That's the thing.
Yeah, I just, you know, I guess one more episode would have helped.
And also, Elijah, you say that they didn't big up the Diamonds showing up enough, but like, the Diamonds, I've kind of expected them. We've had it in our heads, the idea of them coming for about 2 years now, like. So it happened, you know, as people wanted.
I guess so. I mean, they could have man, there's no way they could have. I mean, Lars could have warned them something. Like, man, you know, I mean, Steven had his own like way of knowing, right? Like, oh, crying and stuff like that, or something. And then like, oh man, it just something was off, and something's off for me. I can't watch those episodes. I don't know why. Like, when I go back and watch them, like, somebody asked the questions. I like the Avengers meet. Where it's Bruce and Lapis's hair, and it's like, that's my secret, Steven. I'm always sad. That's what.
Now I'm really curious for what's gonna happen next for Lapis, because that's always been her arc. Right?
She's gonna get a star.
Yeah. I'm sure she's gonna get a star, but I don't know what a confident Lapis looks like. Like a team player Lapis.
Lapis has been confident before. Like the Lapis episodes I like there's one moment where I like Lapis, right? The moment where the rubies betray them and she's like, haha, she's a fucking shit. And I know,
but that was a
well.
spiteful laugh though. She was glad.
She's
that
literally like, I told you she was a shit because I know all about being a shit.
Yeah, she's celebrating the fact that
no one's
Ruby
that well
isn't well adjusted. You know.
Yeah, no one's that well adjusted. I fucking knew it, cause I'm fucking, you know, cause I'm still suffering over here.
Yeah, that is great. But I don't know what Lapis looks like as someone that's excited to be with the Crystal Gems, because she's never even liked the gems that much.
Would you guys be mad if Lars and his crew came back in the reunited? That would have been so much cooler, dude. Imagine if instead of Lapis, it was the Star Destroyer like raining down hell on Blue Diamond. That would have been 10 times better.
Well,
100 times better.
Well, what does that mean for like? That's not. I don't know.
That would
hold it.
My dick would have been so hard.
That wouldn't have meant much because Lars doesn't even resent the diamonds, right?
In fact, Lars not being here is kind of what suggests to me that this probably isn't that close to. I mean, there could be a lot more mileage in the series past this.
Like, dude, that would have made my dick rock hard. Like, Sun Incinerator, let's go.
Yeah, and then he just poofs Blue Diamond. That could have happened.
Dude, that would have been so.
But it also would have felt a little too. It would have felt a little too.
That would have been like, stand down. We don't need to fight. Wait, like Stevie could have just stopped everything because it could have been like just a huge climax. And it's like, what are you doing, Steven? Wait, it's Lars is just ready to unload on the diamonds. Like, cause all the shit. Ooh, that would have been so good. Tell me that would have been better. That fucking laugh.
I don't know. I felt really good.
Tell me, son. Tell me, son.
I felt really good for Paradox that Lapis was back.
Now you know how I feel.
I disagree. I'm glad I'm glad Laws is still in space.
Yeah, but if he had showed up, all cannons, full power.
Oh, so then you would have been down for a big big Avengers fight.
Hell yeah, big ass space battle, though.
All right, if that's how you feel.
That should have been it. Fuck Lapis.
Lars
had already been redeemed. He was down for Steven. He was loyal to Steven. He's been pink, dog.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it wouldn't mean very much.
It would have been the shit.
But it
would have been awesome. Tell me that would have been awesome.
I don't know. I'll give that some thought.
Give it some thought, because it would have been awesome as fuck. They could have gave him the Harlock theme and everything, his own little bootleg Harlock theme.
Oh snap! You guys talk for a second. After this bit's really hard. You have to do some memorization. I'll ignore you for a bit.